So where do I begin with this one? The New York Giants lose to the Philadelphia Eagles 38-20. 2 weeks ago, the New York Giants beat the Philadelphia Eagles by 17. We turn around this week and lose to the Philadelphia Eagles by 18. How do I feel about it? I feel horrible about it because not only did we look like we didn't even belong on the field, we also lost Cam Scatterbull for the season. Horrible injury. Wasn't pleasant to look at. They didn't even show the replay. That's how bad it was. I'm praying for, successful surgery and a speedy recovery for Cam Scatterbull. We saw how it affected the team, and I'm not gonna say that was the reason why the New York Giants lost the game, but we did lose a lot of juice when Cam Scatterbull was out of there. He started off strong and it had a touchdown reception in the game. But even before that, there were issues that the New York Giants were having, especially on defense. Now, going into this game, everybody was worried about the secondary. And, we don't have Holland. We don't have Poston and Debo. The secondary is going to worry. We didn't even have time to worry about the secondary. Why? Because they were running the ball all over us in this game. Second play of the game, Saquon Barkley goes 65 yards for a touchdown on the second play of the game. I'm sitting on my couch, watching my TV, watching Tyler Nubin watch Saquon Barkley get around him for the touchdown. That's what I was watching. You can't tackle Saquon Barkley by staring at him. He's not just going to fall and trip on the grass. That's what New York Giants do. Saquon Barkley is not falling on the grass. He's not getting tripped up by blades of grass. No. So it looks like another terrible angle for Tyler Nubin, and that sets the tone for the game. I think the Philadelphia Eagles ended up with 264 yards on the ground. Another 130 in the air. Jalen Hurts having a Jalen Hurts type of game. Didn't even throw for 150 yards, but had three throwing touchdowns or passing touchdowns. And I'm just sitting back watching this game, and I went from angry to surprised to disgusted to depressed to this is outright just comical. Why did you give Shane Bowen another week? Why? Why did you do that? We went into this game thinking that the secondary was going to be the problem, and they ran the ball down our throats. I'm going to say a phrase to you. 2nd and 31. 2nd and 31. This defense, right after Brian Burns had a fantastic sack, now he's the sack leader again with 11 sacks on the season. Fantastic for him. But right after that play, that was a first down play, right? Something like, I forget. The whole point was it was 2nd and 31. And the New York Giants give up that 2nd and 31, not even through the air, but on the ground. I made a video last week talking about these guys being the three stooges, talking about the head coach, the OC, the DC, being like they always fumbling and bumbling around. Well, guess who looked like that today? The defense. The defense looked like the Stooges today, running into each other, falling over each other, falling down by themselves, making dumb decisions. It looked crazy out there today. It looked like we didn't even belong on the same field as the Philadelphia Eagles after beating the Philadelphia Eagles by 17 points. Now, some people will say, well, we're missing players. That's fine. You're missing players. A lot of people miss players. The Philadelphia Eagles were just missing players as well. What happened to this defense? What happened to setting the edge? What happened to gap discipline? Not getting too far upfield. This is Jalen Hurts we're talking about. You get too far up field and you get lost. What he's going to take off. And he's going to slide for the first down. We saw that today. We couldn't get off the field as a defense today. Horrible showing. Horrible showing. And let's talk about Cordell Flott today. Cordell Flott was coming off one of the highest of highs, man. He got cooked today by Devontae Smith before he got knocked out of the game. And he got knocked out of the game by his own player. He has a concussion because Bobby Okereke went across his chin, running into each other. Corey Black gets in the game. And then he gets mossed. And I'm having people talking about, well, at least it was good coverage. He got mossed because it was good coverage. It doesn't matter if it was good coverage or not if he didn't make the play. Matter of fact, he didn't make the play, and the wide receiver did, and he got the touchdown. But you know what takes the cake in all of this? You know what really takes the cake in all of this, though? Is when this game was clearly over. The game was clearly over. It's 4 minutes left, 3 minutes left. And you're still running Jackson Dart in a game that does no longer matter. You're still running Jackson Dart. So not only have you lost Malik Neighbors this year, you just lost Cam Scatterbull. You're in the garbage time of games that really doesn't even matter anymore, because even if you scored a touchdown, you're not getting any closer to the victory. We're not the Denver Broncos. You ran Jackson Dart, QB keepers. He's getting pummeled at the end of games. Why are we doing that? What if he gets hurt? What if he gets a concussion? What if he's out for games? The guy that you panic so much about, if he goes into the tent, you panic like there's no other quarterbacks on the team. You panic, but you're still running him at the end of the games. Now, I don't know if Kafka made that call, but I know that the head coach is in charge of everything. And if we're down 18 points with 2 minutes left and we're really not getting anything going with this offense, best believe I'm thinking about sitting my quarterback down. I'm putting Russell Wilson in for sure, because I can't afford for Jackson Dart to get hurt. Why? Because I'm still evaluating Jackson Dart. But no, what do? You put him in harm's way. Luckily he gets out of that game healthy still. But he got rocked when he didn't have to get rocked. This unnecessary stuff happening. Just so you can say you lost by 18 instead of what? 25? That's why you did that. You put your quarterback on risk because of that. It's crazy to me. I think the discussion should be over by now. 1 step forward, 100 steps back. Every time we have something good, something terrible happens. I'm not blaming the coaches for everything, but I'm blaming them for a lot. Players are still accountable for being it. It is what it is. But this coaching staff has proven time after time that they are not the right guys moving forward. And I understand he has 1 more year in his contract, and I understand that Jackson Dart is a rookie. But what I'm learning, and hopefully everybody else is learning too, is that Jackson Dart is not successful because of Brian Dable. Jackson Dart is successful because of himself, and Brian Dable is hanging on to Jackson Dart's coattails. Just think about when all the good stuff that you see from Jackson Dart. There's a handful of plays where the route concepts are there. He's getting the ball out quick. Everything is on time. There's a handful of plays that are like that. But when you really look at everything that Jackson Dart has done well this season, a lot of that has come from his own back, his own athleticism, scramble drills, and stuff like that. So the guy that you want coaching, this guy can't even put his quarterback in the right position to be better. And that's the recipe for him no longer being here, period. We didn't need this game either. Because another thing is, I hate when I see the emotions after every game. Now, I have emotions after every game, but the whole point is when we lose a game, it's like, yeah, let's get rid of Brian Dable. When we win a game, well, let's keep Brian Dable a little bit longer. No, Brian Dable is who he is. I think we've reached the ceiling for Brian Dable. So it does not help this team. It does not help Jackson Dart keeping Brian Dable. We got to get that out of our minds. Get that out of your head. It's not a package deal. Just like Joe Shane and Brian Dable are not a package deal. Jackson Dart, Brian Dable, they're not a package deal. Thank you, Brian Dable, for fighting so hard for Jackson Dart to get him on the squad. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for identifying the talent that is Jackson Dart. Thank you for fighting so hard for him to get drafted. But we can take it from here. Or I should say, there's going to be another coach that is better than you, that can coach better than you, that can scheme better than you, that's going to take it from here. That goes from the entire coordinator staff as well, too. Positional staff, too, if you want to take it that far. Whoever this next coach is going to be, and I believe like right now, how can you run it back with Brian Dable again? The way things are going, games that you're supposed to win, games that you had in the bag with when you had the lead going in to under a minute, and you give those games up. How can you go back to Brian Dable thinking you're going to see something different next year in 2026? Oh, just because we got Malik Neighbors back? No, it's bigger than that. Because what happens, and then it just becomes us chucking the ball down to Malik Neighbors. No, we need a coach that can scheme this thing up for the players. And yes, we lack talent. But with this regime has had 4 years to gather talent. And within those 4 years, we're still in the same place that we were before they got here. Sitting with 2 wins and 6 losses at the end of October. So I don't want to hear it anymore. I'm over it. This season is no longer about how far we can get. If we can make a push to the playoffs, that's not in my mind anymore. Would I love to see it? Absolutely, I would love to see it. My main focus, and I keep saying this for a couple of weeks now, my main focus is finding out who deserves to be re-signed, who deserves an extension. What do these rookies look like? Guys like Fedoni, like guys like Marcus Bowe. Is Wan'Dale Robinson getting a new contract? Is Daniel Bellinger getting a new contract? Is Dane Belton getting? That's what we need to figure out now. It's no longer let's make this push to see if we can make a playoff run. It's about seeing who's going to be on the Giants in 2026 and moving forward. That's what it's about for me. And maybe after next week, if we happen to beat the 49ers, or if we're able to go on a little run, I'm still going to feel the same, even with a win. Because for us, what I've learned as a New York Giants fan is that winning feeling is very, very temporary, and it's very, very short. And there's no way that we can change that without making changes. And that's it, point blank, period. The New York Giants lose to the Philadelphia Eagles in Philly again. The streak continues. We have not beat Philly in Philly since 2013. We have not swept the Philadelphia Eagles since 2007. It is what it is. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my day and watch some real football. Y'all have a good day.
Yeah.